Hey, it's CVV, Chris Van Vliet, and you have to check out the fastest rising podcast in all of professional wrestling. I'm talking about the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast. If you're looking for pay-per-view predictions, if you're looking for pay-per-view reviews, if you're looking for interviews, check out the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast.
Crash and Burn!
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast, where tonight we'll be doing WrestleMania 28, and this event took place at the Sun Life Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. It was the highest grossing pay-per-view event in professional wrestling history at the time. This event took place on April 1st, 2012. So April Fool's Day 2012. So before we get to the episode, Wyatt, come on in.
Yeah, what's up? It's Sunday. We're doing an episode on Sunday. It's whatever, but thankfully, we're gonna do this episode. Get this episode out of the way. I don't know how many matches we're running for that day. Definitely pretty okay WrestleMania. You got to see a dream match for the ages. John Cena and The Rock, two icons, two legends, two amazing people who showed an impact to the wrestling industry. But Jason, let's show the card and let's have everyone and see what what our thoughts were for the show, and and everyone just sit back and me and Jason review the match card.
By the way, I'll be eating as I'm doing this, and yeah. And fun fact, this is our 100th episode of Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast.
Yes, happy 100th episode of Crash and Burn.
Yep, so anyways, for the pre-show, we have Primo and Epico defeating Tyson Kidd, Justin Gabriel, and the Usos. It was a triple threat tag team match for the tag team titles. Go ahead, Wyatt.
I never even watched that match. That was a very, very forgettable pre-show match. I never even knew Justin Gabriel and Tyson Kidd were even a tag team. The Usos were at the time wrestling in pre-shows and dark matches before they had their star rise. And Primo and Epico actually won the tag titles at a house show in Oakland, California. They beat Kofi Kingston and Evan Moore. So, yeah, that match was nothing but really fans were probably getting their drinks and their food during that fight. So, honestly, I didn't care for it.
I didn't care for it either. It was an okay tag team match, but yeah, it is what it is for a pre-show. Sheamus defeated Daniel Bryan, World Heavyweight title. This was a squash one. This was a squash match to start off WrestleMania. Sheamus and defeating Daniel Bryan for the World Heavyweight title. So, Wyatt, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts, 18 seconds.
18 seconds. Mm-hmm. So it's just a squash match. Congrats to Sheamus, that's all. Alright. Kane defeated Randy Orton. Alright, well, Kane defeated Randy Orton. What are your thoughts, Wyatt?
That was the build up to Kane having his new mask. I was actually disappointed that Kane actually won that match. You know, Kane and Randy have had so many great matches in the past. I kind of wish Randy would have actually won that fight, but, you know, he had that choke slam off the top rope and all. And the build-up to that fight was already, you know, they brought through the crowd. You know, Kane was supposed to have a match with Oksana, and then Randy Orton hit him with the RKO to protect her. And I remember when I went to my first Raw, literally that was the build-up to that fight, and literally Randy Orton had like an interview about it. Literally on the stage, facing the opposite direction. Literally the only thing I remember him saying is, "My name is Randy Orton." But yeah, honestly, you know, Kane was actually had a new deal with himself. You know, Kane actually became more unstoppable when Kane had his new mask. So basically, it was kind of figurable that Kane would win, but I wish Randy would have won that fight.
It was a solid match, that's all I'll say. How about this? Big Show defeated Cody Rhodes for the IC title. Go ahead, Wyatt.
I believe that's when Big Show maybe became Grand Slam champion, but if so, that was well deserved because Big Show is one of the legendary superstars. And Cody Rhodes was a very decent Intercontinental champion, in my opinion. Wasn't the best. I believe he took the title off Ezekiel Jackson like in August of, let's see, yeah, Big Show defeating Cody Rhodes. I think that was just a well-deserved win for Big Show, and Big Show just hit the Grand Slam. So good stuff.
So this was a solid match to me. And as I said right there, Cody had a solid reign with the IC title, and yeah, not too special right here to me. All right, in this match, Kelly and Marina Menezes defeated Beth Phoenix and Eve Torres. This was a match that existed on the show.
It was a celebrity match, for what you expect.
Right, yeah. What are your thoughts?
I really didn't understand too much of the build-up leading up to that fight. Like, I forgot this match even existed pretty much. But all I'm saying is I'm actually glad that Kelly and Marina Menezes took the dub in that fight. And that was leading to Kelly's way out the door. Even Beth Phoenix and Eve, like, later that year, like, I forgot how Eve even turned heel. Which, yeah. I don't know if she was, like, in a tweener mode because she was still having a love connection with Zack Ryder, pretty much. But I believe the heel turn was, like, confirmed, like, after what happened later that night.
Yeah. This match, The Undertaker This match, The Undertaker defeated Triple H. Hell in a Cell match with Shawn Michaels as the guest referee. Now, this match I actually really enjoyed. One of the matches of the night for me. Great build-up, great storylines into this.
Yeah.
And two of the best in the business right now. So I really enjoyed this match. One of my favorite matches of the night. Yeah. Go ahead, Wyatt.
I actually thought the match was incredible. You know, that was 2012 match of the year. So, yeah, literally, it was crazy. So much emotions, you know. It was very emotional seeing Undertaker, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels having their arms around each other, walking out of the cell. And I really, you know, it was 20-0 for the Undertaker. Just so much emotion stuff, but you know, to the greatest in the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, you know, finding their way doors closed to the DG era. But I honestly, I thought it just had a lot of emotion to it. But you know, them two really performed that performance that night. You know, two icons. And that's all I'm going to say, really, for that match. But, you know, it was Undertaker versus Triple H for the third time. But I thought that should have been the last time ever match. Not at the freaking Super Showdown in 2018.
Right. Now, for this match, Team Johnny defeated Team Teddy. 12-man tag team match to determine the GM for SmackDown and Raw. Wyatt.
I didn't understand. There was no way that Teddy Long was going to win. You know, because every main event of Raw and SmackDown will be a tag team match, or else they're going to go one-on-one with the Undertaker. I honestly never thought Teddy would actually run both shows. You know, they're going to have a heel general manager actually win that fight because, you know, they need to have a heel general manager if they're going to run both shows to piss the fans off and be unfair to the baby faces. And, you know, the first thing John Laurinaitis booked was CM Punk versus Mark Henry for the WWE title, which, you know, that was going to make it unfair to Punk because Punk and Johnny had a rivalry at the time. So, they had some unfair times, but I do remember on Team Johnny, you had, let's see, David Otunga, Mark Henry, Dolph Ziggler, David Otunga, Mark Henry, Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, Drew McIntyre, and The Miz. And on Team Petty, you have Santino Marella, The Great Khali, Kofi Kingston, R-Truth, Zack Ryder, and Booker T. So, I honestly, it was kind of weird. And then after the fight, you did have like Eve hit Zack Ryder in the nuts, and that confirmed her heel turn, and that led her to becoming the assistant general manager for John Laurinaitis. And you even had the Bella Twins in the mix as well, and Oksana and Vicky Guerrero for some sort. But Team Johnny was actually going to win that match. Then 2 months later, fired. But hey, we'll review maybe nobody on 2012 institution. But that was the pay-per-view John Laurinaitis was fired on. But we'll get to that maybe.
Yeah.
Solid match.
This was a solid match, so I have to agree with you. So, the next match, Chris Jericho and CM Punk. So, CM Punk defeated Chris Jericho by submission. So,
in the end, kind of nice.
Yep. And for my thoughts for this match, it was a pretty good match. I enjoyed the storytelling into this, especially the storytelling in this match as well. So I would have to say another one of the best matches of the night. So go ahead, Wyatt. Your thoughts?
I honestly enjoyed their storyline about being a drunkaholic and straight edge in some sort. Like, you even continued the rivalry after WrestleMania, which I was cool with. But honestly, Punk, it was the age of Punk. Punk having his 434th day title reign. I thought Punk was the right guy to win that match. I love Punk. I love Jericho. So, honestly, it was all right. You did have Punk, Jericho win the 10-man battle royal to determine the number one contender for the WWE title. But yeah, I thought the match was pretty good. And again, you did have to continue the rivalry, and I think they had a good storyline. And I remember going to my first Raw. That was the rivalry Punk was in, and Punk saying on the mic to Jericho, "Jericho, you're bullshit." Jericho was literally virtually through the camera when they did that segment.
Yeah. At the main event, The Rock defeated John Cena singles match. 2 icons. It's 2 icons. Great storytelling.
I'm
great
going to try to say it.
What more to say? What more to say, like, for real?
Oh, yeah.
A classic match. Damn, I enjoyed this one. So, Wyatt.
Okay, so all I'm going to say is this was definitely a match that fans have wanted to see ever since John Cena became a rising star. Some people thought they'd see it in 2010. Some people thought they'd see it the following year. You had it at WrestleMania 28. Ever since Rock gave John Cena rock bottom after failing to beat The Miz at WrestleMania that year, Jeff knew this match was going to happen the following year ever since they announced it the next night. But definitely it was in The Rock's hometown. But if John Cena beat The Rock that year, they would have not had the match again. That was once in a lifetime. Then it became a year later, twice in a lifetime. And I believe they were going to have it again for the 3rd time, but no, they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I just definitely remember seeing that match that night. And I just knew that The Rock would beat John Cena, but, if they're going to have that happen, John Cena will fight The Rock again. But for the WWE Champion. Exactly what they wanted to do.
Okay.
But definitely a lot of emotions. John Cena did fail to beat The Rock, but 2012 was a tough year for Cena. But I definitely thought them two really this was definitely a match fans have been very patient for, and they finally got the dreams do come true ever since The Rock made his return in 2011. That's definitely The Rock's target, John Cena. But
yeah, man, for sure.
Definitely definitely a match that we can remember, but I don't think we'll ever see that match ever again.
Yep. Anyways, for the ratings, I'll give this like a 9 out of 10 because the majority of the show was good, but some matches were iffy. But otherwise, a great show overall. Wyatt.
I'd give it a 7 out of 10, honestly. It was a very solid show.
Alright, and for outros, thanks for watching this episode of the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast where we reviewed Mania 28. Hope y'all enjoyed. Subscribe to Crash and Burn, subscribe to the Moshcast, and that's it. Wyatt.
Glad you all enjoyed our 100th episode. I know it was just me and Jason. We did review WrestleMania 28. Definitely a pay-per-view I requested to do. We were supposed to do that pay-per-view a while back, but you had the whole spring cleaning going on, and you just had some wrestlers cut recently, and maybe I definitely wish the wrestlers who got budget cuts recently the best. But you had Braun Strowman, Lana, Aleister Black, Murphy, Ruby Riott, and Santana Garrett. But you never know; there's more to come. But we'll see how WWE's future goes. If they do sell the company or not sell the company, we'll see. But they're at $56.1 million, I think, for sale. But rumors are rumors.
Yep. So, anyways, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care. Bye.
Crush and burn!